I had someone I know that runs a pretty successful business, sophisticated person, called up just to get their rate because we were talking about potentially just switching POS companies, because he was using more of a legacy company. We were trying to get him to something more advanced and help the business. We weren't even really talking about the credit card rate. It was just, but he just called up asking what it was. And just him calling to ask what it was with not even an intention to negotiate or anything. The response was, bop's your rate. Oh, wow. Oh, I could do better than that.
Oh, you can? Because you didn't call me last week and tell me you could do better.
You know what I mean? So I get it. Like they're getting calls all the time.
Yeah.
What's the rate? So that because they know,
what's next in that process?
Exactly. Yeah. So, but it was I was like wild how high they were and how they immediately just with one phone call. So maybe just call and ask what the rate is.
This episode is brought to you by Halcyon Eco.
Peter, so when we're going out prospecting restaurants for new clients, we always go and look at the reviews. Because it's a good way to see not only the number of reviews, you can kind of see how busy a place is, but then you start seeing, okay, what are some things that we could provide value in, okay? So let's say a restaurant's got some inconsistent reviews with food quality, off color, different things that, maybe the restaurant end user is not sure what's going on, but it most likely could be an issue with the fryer.
Yeah, when you look at the science behind the fryer, it works in a circular motion. So when you ignite the fryer, the oil will go clockwise, and it'll pick up all the particles in the bottom of the oil. So if you have dirty oil, essentially you are frying your food, not in the oil, but in the particles and the residue from the last 2 or 3 weeks. That taste sticks to the food. And as we just say to people, black particles on food is a bad sign. It means it's dirty oil, the fryer hasn't been cleaned. In what situation would we take something out of our fridge from 2 weeks ago and feed it to someone? It wouldn't exist. And unless kitchens put in place ways to filter and clean that oil, their food is going to taste greasy. The kitchen, not only is the food going to taste greasy, but the restaurant is going to smell.
Yeah.
Because you're burning the particles all the time. Those burnt particles, your fried chicken is still fried chicken.
Sure.
It's now just covered in burnt, old particles of food that really affect the quality. And we know, if you're sitting in a shed and the quality of the food is fantastic, you're not going to tell people you were sitting in a shed. You're going to tell them the quality of the food is fantastic.
You got to check this out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, restaurateurs have to realize to improve the quality of your food, focus on your oil, make sure it's clean, and make sure you're not feeding those particles to your customers.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Yeah, and if you'd like to learn more about Halcyon Eco, go to restauranttopia.com and check it out. This is Restauranttopia.
Welcome back to Restauranttopia. We got a really quick episode, but I think it's so relevant in today's inflationary environment. The secret cost killers of your kitchen and beyond. I just want to lay it out here, guys. I want to lay it out here. I'm going to teach you the ways to audit your restaurant and find some actual cost savings. And this isn't like, hey, I'm going to call up my food service rep and beat them up on chicken wing prices. These are real world examples of areas where you can actually save money. And I'm talking a lot of money. And it's every month. These are a lot of reoccurring expenses that you can basically drop thousands and thousands of dollars to the bottom line. Anthony, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just keep thinking about lawyer fees.
Oh, those are not in this episode. I think if you want to just send your attorney of choice a retainer in the case that something eventually will be needed with his services or her services, I think that's appropriate.
Why do I always?
You mean my legal monthly subscription that I started in January of 1995 that I'm still paying?
Yes, it's an investment.
Continue.
It's an investment.
Why have you groomed me to make fun of lawyers? You're a lawyer, and I respect you with the utmost. And I feel bad now because I'm always taking digs at lawyers.
Well, it's the industry. First of all, he's a great human being.
Yeah, that helps.
So, did you read the stat about...
I would say the public opinion would say that's debatable, but okay.
Well, you are still a lawyer.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I think like any industry has its superstars and some less desirable professionals.
Yeah, it's very diplomatic of you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's
So
good. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay,
Talk about killers.
Speaking of killers, not guilty.
If the glove don't fit, we must acquit.
Yeah, no. This is. There's actually a knife emoji in this because I think it meant for the kitchen, but it goes with the killer too. Like this isn't a Dateline special, but as a independent restaurant owner, there's hidden reoccurring costs, and that's what I want to talk about. They're quietly eating away at your profits, and it's just destroying you, and you don't even know it. Like a lot of people. I was just reviewing financials for a company, and they had a storage unit that they were paying for the last 8 months. Nothing in the storage unit, and continuing to pay for it.
Wow.
What are these costs that you got? Again, you're so worried about the dishwasher calling off that you're not spending the time to look at the numbers. All right, so go into this fast. You always have portion creep, you have inconsistency, you have food waste, you have labor inefficiencies. Anthony all day long can tell you about those things and what to do, but what are the overhead and contractual leaks that you're seeing in your business? So contractual renewals, whether it is, have we looked at internet lately? Can we call up Spectrum or whatever provider you have and renegotiate that? Linens. There are some really predatory linen companies out there, and I've told the story in the past when my friend, his partner got cancer, and the linen company didn't remove the seasonal number, and they kept on charging them in the off season for the additional number. Again, that linen company, in my mind, was just evil, but you have to be watching these contracts.
It's a problem when the salesperson is the delivery person and they have autonomy. Mm-hmm. And I know a company that's structured like that, and they're multifaceted now, not just linens.
Yeah.
You have
We're talking about the same company.
Oh, I'm sure they do fire too. And so,
yeah.
If you don't audit every invoice, you're missing out. And I could tell you how many times I've audited invoices too late and then had to fight with them.
Yep. And I will tell you as a lawyer, which we started the episode by, which is ironic, their contract is ironclad and it's very strong. If you do not object to the invoice within 15 days, you waive it. So there's all these things which in a perfect world they would be in breach. They're not in breach, and you're stuck throughout the life of the contract. So be very, very careful on signing these multi-year agreements. You want to be able to get out of any contract with a vendor as quick as possible. Because once you're married to this vendor for 3 years, 2 years, whatever it is, that can be a long time, and they will be able to do price increases. They'll be able to do all sorts of different things contractually that will negatively affect your bottom line. Insurance, another thing we always often talk about. Make sure you're shopping that when it's 2 weeks before the renewal date. It's probably too late. Make sure you're 3-4 months out. Pest control, subscriptions that you may have with the business. Are you using Adobe? Are you using Canva? Or what are the products that you're using? Remember to constantly check those. Make sure that your team is checking them. Whether it's the bank statement, whatever that you have that you're looking at or you should be looking at. Make sure that you're checking that for these recurring expenses, because those will hurt you. I just saw when I was doing a customer review, Clover increased their price of their monthly subscription for their point of sale system, and that cost is going up. So should you look at your point of sale provider, whether you're using Clover or Toast or what have you, what are you paying for just the point of sale? And then you also have to review annually or every couple of years when the contract renews. What are you paying for your merchant services account? What's your credit card fee? And those are the sorts of things that I think you really got to be a student of the game and talk to other vendors, call us up, email us, let us know, because we can give you some best practices, but also what the going rate is and what we're seeing.
I have a quick story about the merchant service provider, the credit card processing. So
Yeah.
basically, I had someone I know that runs a pretty successful business, sophisticated person, called up just to get their rate because we were talking about potentially just switching POS companies, because he was using more of a legacy company. We were trying to get him to something more advanced and help the business. We weren't even really talking about the credit card rate. It was just, but he just called up asking what it was. And just him calling to ask what it was with not even an intention to negotiate or anything. The response was, bop's your rate. Oh, wow. Oh, I could do better than that.
Oh, you can? Because you didn't call me last week and tell me you could do better.
You know what I mean? So I get it. Like they're getting calls all the time.
Yeah.
What's the rate? So that because they know,
What's next in that process?
Exactly. Yeah. So, but it was I was like wild how high they were and how they immediately just with one phone call. So maybe just call and ask what the rate is.
Yeah, that's actually a good start.
It's a. Can I talk to your customer retention expert? Like that. There's a way out there to do this, and it doesn't take a ton of time, but you have to have visibility. You have to be seeing this, and it's the ones that are auto paid that you have to worry about the most, in my opinion, because there's the accounting team's typically going to check that big. Hey, there's a
that they're stroking the check
there's a $4,000 invoice
ACH,
for the HVAC system. I was like, well, yeah, because the air conditioner broke. Like that's what it costs. But these are the things that you're
Small
spending
little
an
things.
extra $4,000 every year.
The paper cuts.
On all of these. Waste removal, that's another one. Again, a lot of these have really aggressive either terms, so how many years the contract is, and the auto renewal clauses. So be very careful on the fine print. I want you to make, and I'm going to put this in the show notes, make a contract calendar and a renewal calendar. This is what you have, this is what the price is, and then this is when it renews, and this is when you should shop it. Make sure that you're looking at this stuff, really quarterly.
I do this at home. I put it right in my Outlook calendar.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
So do I.
Right. Especially with what you're probably going to talk about, utilities.
Yeah, XM satellite radio. I have a note. It's like, hey, call this day, cancel, and in 2 days later, I get another year's subscription for a certain amount of price.
Right.
The utilities, huge. There are savings, and we can turn you on to some experts that are doing this. But there is savings on the utilities that are very important, and who you buy from, how you have it set up. These are important.
Which is crazy to me, the utilities thing, because even as just like living in a home, like not even owning a business, like just I always you get the like, hey, we're switching to this, or you could stay, opt out, all this stuff, and I typically just kind of ignore it, but there's real impactful.
Every 12 months I log into my utility companies, and then I choose a supplier based on rates. I got burnt because my wife got an oxygen machine, and then the minute she got that and plugged it in was the same day that my old agreement expired with the electric company. I didn't realize it expired. So I was paying like 2.5 times what my bill should have been for about 2 years. Wow. Just thinking that her oxygen machine just sucked a lot of juice, right? Well, that's my luck though. That's a coincidence. Yeah. And then I realized,
especially if it had happened around the same time, so you're not even thinking. Like,
it happened almost a day of. I'm not even kidding you. Like it was the very next bill, a week after we plugged, or a month after we plugged that thing.
You're like,
in.
wow, is this thing inefficient?
Right, but what choice do you have, right? So for 2 years I paid that, and then one day I got curious for some reason. I think my wife actually nudged me, and I went in there, and I was like, holy moly! I was paying like 12 cents a kilowatt. I could get down to 4 cents a kilowatt. It was wild. Yeah. Needless to say,
so check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and take a look at the contract calendar in the show notes, because you want to be careful with that. He wrote it down. Dave's got it. You want to be careful with that because of the early termination penalties. There's liquidated damages oftentimes. So this is something by design with the introductory rates and the 1 year guaranteed rates. So you want to be able to look at this holistically, but understand that these companies are potentially weaponizing their contract against you. So I want to kind of wrap this up, because it's really a quick episode. It's really something I want to just bring to everyone's attention, but at the end of the day, you have to do the heavy lifting. print out the expense audit playbook, the expense calendar. Every 3 to 6 months, take a look at all of your statements. Highlight every reoccurring charge. Are you still using it? Are you getting a fair price? When's the renewal date? Call the vendor. That will get you to be kind of a catalyst to get these things fixed.
Sure.
And then, at the end of the day, don't assume anyone else is watching. You have to own this. That no one else is watching. Like when I found that container on this, they were shocked. They're like, oh, we're paying $500 a month for this container on a company that's struggling that really could use an extra $6,000.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's
real money. I mean,
it is. And that's just like, hey, we don't need this expense, let alone all the expenses that you could reduce by 20%, 30%. Like Anthony's great example with the electrical charge. Like you could be paying, 4 cents a kilowatt hour versus 12. Mm-hmm. And again, you're running a freezer
right
at your restaurant. Like this isn't someone's house. Like you're spending real dollars. How do you reduce those things? Yeah. Be competitive, just like you would with your food service vendor, with all of your other vendors with these recurring charges. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it. Anthony, thank you for your time.
Of course.
Dave.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Hey, have a good one. Anything you need from Restauranttopia, check us out in our show notes. If we can be a help to you, we want to be a service. Let us know if there's a story, a topic that you think we should hit, or if you have a question or some way to better your organization, let us know. Thank you so much.